Hello, it's me again, James Macabre Manscape. The joke has not gotten old yet. Yeah, so I have not uploaded anything in a while. You're actually going to see something before this that I'm currently rendering, and it's footage that I've been sitting on for like a month, but I finally just yesterday got to looking at it again and editing it in a way that I think is presentable. And it's been taking forever to render. My computer's not very strong or like powerful when it comes to stuff like video editing and stuff. And so bear with it. It's been rendering for hours now, and it's almost done, hopefully. But yeah, so that's gonna be a collection update, and then there's gonna be this, an Libris episode. I know it's been a while since I've done one of those, and then I have one more project in the works that I kind of just thought of on a whim, and I've been slowly collating footage and pictures to go with that. And I'm almost done with recording. There's a few things I need to do. It has a collection update aspect to it, but that is definitely like not the majority of what it is. It's just something that I enjoy, you know. I decided to turn it into content, TM, even though I don't monetize any of the shit because I can't even monetize it because I don't have enough subscribers. That doesn't stop YouTube from sometimes putting ads on things anyways. Like on my second channel, which is a secret. It's another music thing. Don't worry about it. Anyways, so today is a collection of, nope, today's an Ex Libris. And you'll see this one probably soon after my collection update that goes up. Fingers crossed. Uh, First up, so Bs. We're starting Bs. Last time we finished the As. Now we're starting the Bs. I don't know about you, but I don't actually have a lot of bands or artists in my collection whose names start with B. I don't listen to a ton of bands that's, have start with the word blood or black or, any of those or any variation like blut. I just don't listen to those very often. So, and besides, also, the first half that I have here, this stack is more metally than the second stack, which is going to be a lot less metally. So first up, speaking of things that, blur the line with metal, maybe a little bit, I just throw it in. I consider it. I think the argument, debate, discourse over this band, whether or not it's metal, is kind of pointless. And like, the answer is obviously yes. Just saying. Baby metal. I know. People have opinions. I liked this band. Like, I like this band. I think they do more net good than net bad to heavy metal. They definitely, attract a lot of eyes and ears. So I have no problem with this band. I know people don't like that they're like, put together by a record label because that's how like the Japanese idol system works. And I don't care. I do not care. As so far as this band goes, I did appreciate this debut album. Came out in 2014 in Japan and 2015 here in the United States. But after that, I'm kind of content to just like appreciate them from a distance, especially because like I think the novelty kind of wears thin, and besides, nowadays mixing of pop and metal is done fairly frequently and honestly kind of better than this. My least favorite things about baby metal are when they definitely like lean into those pop, like J-pop and hip hop aesthetics and sounds. It kind of sometimes doesn't mix quite right. But this debut album, in general, I tend to like it. It's like I think it knows what it's about. Because believe it or not, some artists try this experiment and kind of fail. I'm looking at you, Poppy. I'm sorry, just you can't mix happy like bubblegum pop with industrial new metal. Those don't work. This does because it's J-pop, which is a high energy genre and just fun, right? And it's mixed with like power and thrash metal, which are also like a little bit more, like yes, extreme, but like a little bit more buoyant than say sludgy new metal, right? So I think this works pretty well. I do enjoy this album. I discovered this band back when I had a friend who had a Facebook account. There's really nothing going on in this booklet. And there's the disc. So she had a Facebook and she posted the live video of Gimme Chocolate. And that's when I first saw them, and that was like in 2014. So by the time that they started getting actually like big in, the US, I had already kind of like dabbled my toe a little bit into baby metal. But yeah, there's some like really fun songs on here, like Megitsune. Gimme Chocolate is fun. Ine, Akatsuki, Headbanger. There are some great songs on here, and then some that kind of like maybe you're a little duddy. But yeah, I just think it's a lot of fun. It doesn't have to be that deep. So I have ooh, this is a fun band from Greece, Bare Infinity. This is a band that broke up for a while, actually. This is their debut album from 2009, and this shit is hard to find. I have spent a lot of money on this copy specifically, and a lot of copy on my first copy that I had, which less though, like less than half of what I paid for this one, because this stuff is hard to find now. It was released in 2009 on a Greek record label, I believe, Emotion Art, and that shit is like out of print, does not exist. So I finding this was actually really difficult. But it's really good. Like if you're into symphonic metal, like I don't want to say a la Nightwish because I feel like that's not an adequate comparison. Nightwish, at least in when they stepped away from the power metal stuff and then went fully symphonic, they definitely went darker. They went bigger and darker and definitely has this like cold quality to it. Bare Infinity is like not that. It is not that intense personally. Like looking at it, it's kind of really atmospheric, and the orchestra used and the way that the orchestration are arranged, the orchestration's arranged, it's very quarter notes and just very, I don't know, it's a lot less dark. It's a lot it's heavy, but I don't even know how to describe it. Maybe it's a little bit more similar to symphonic metal era, like with Incantation, like the Silent Force and stuff. Uh, yeah, but like just long songs, 6 minutes, 6 minute long song is pretty normal for this album. It's just really good, like quality symphonic metal, and it is an underrepresented band. The original singer that they had went on to be in Elysian, I believe. No, that's wrong. Yes, that's right. And because the singer of Elysian went on to be in Visions of Atlantis. That's what it was. And then so they have a new singer since, like they reformed, and they put out one more album after this, and I haven't heard much from them since, but I need to get my hands on that. It was for sale everywhere for a while, like online, Discogs, eBay, Amazon, and I think it's kind of slowly gone away, and I probably missed my chance, but I'm gonna have to like sit on that one and wait, just like I did for this one. So this is Always Forever, 2009, Bare Infinity, super just laid back, kind of chill symphonic metal, really good stuff. And in 2011, they released an EP that is called The Passage. When I went to the Metal Female Voices Fest, I should actually do a video on that. They played on the first night, which so it was 3-day festival. Friday was just a night show, right? So it was Battlelore, Bare Infinity, and Exandria. And then there was like the Saturday set, and I went on Sunday. But this band played that Friday, and they were actually like debuting this, I believe. I want to say they like debuted the EP at the festival. It was independent. They did this, by themselves, very DIY. I currently have 2 copies. These are my second and third copies because, again, this was the first thing I bought by this band on eBay. I believe it was actually from one of the band members or the actual band on eBay. 2013, during the summer, I was doing a counselor, like junior counselor type situation at a summer camp, and I was getting a lot of stuff that year. That was like the first year that I had like my debit card. And I was just like spending a lot of money on music. Probably too much, especially like considering in 2016 what had happened to my collection. I sunk a lot of money into my collection at that point. A lot more now, but that is neither here nor there. But yeah, so The Passage. This is very similar in the vein of Always Forever, and is it definitely suffers from that like production quality loss a little bit because of independent band on an independent band budget that isn't very big. They never got that big, even though like the symphonic metal like fan base is pretty insular, but they're also very much about like the moment. So if you're not super big in the moment, you're probably like you'll be doing fine in like numbers, like in your draw in your crowd, but there's not a lot of like money in being like a middle-sized band, especially not in like the early 2010s. Anyways, so it's pretty similar. Some of these songs have a bit of like a darker edge to them, but yeah, it's pretty solid. Not as good as the debut album though. Anyways, next up I have, ooh, you know what? Ooh, I have a cassette to go with this too. Let's see if I can find it. I'm sorry. I'm gonna pause you. Okay, I'm back. I got my cassette. So this band, I believe, is from, if not Seattle, the Seattle area. And this is Barrowlands. I don't know if you can read it. It's kind of, uh, the contrast is a bit high on this. So this is their 2012 demo, the version released by Asphodel Winter Productions here in the Bay Area. I believe they're either, I don't remember if their headquarters, because they're a very like small independent record label. I don't remember if they're in Berkeley or in Oakland or in Richmond anymore. They kind of, like where they ship out from kind of changes over time. And this is part of the first two things I got by this from that record label. And the first thing I ever got by this band, and this is, so their 2012 demo, released on cassette, beautiful white cassette with a different artwork on the J card than was originally released for this demo, which I believe was only digital, but I could also be wrong about that, or it could have been CDR. And this is like kind of lo-fi because it's a demo, but it's a proggy black metal. I really like this demo a lot, and it's, you know, there's like a cello on it, and everything's just slightly like out of tune, and very noisy, but also like highly melodic. And these songs just go on and on and on. It was great. It's actually been a while since I've listened to this. I probably should spin it or like play it, however people use to describe cassette playing. But I really do need to listen to this again. That being said, though, this release, which I got in 2013 or 2014, don't remember. This was also like my first cassette ever. That thing put this band on the map for me, and I kept my ear to the ground a little bit for the release of their debut album, and this is Thane. And it's kind of hard to see what's going on in this album cover, but I believe it's like an Ent, like Lord of the Rings style Ent. But I could be wrong. It's a little, you know, I even have a hard time making it out. And this is not the like independent American press that the band does. I believe that they had vinyl and cassette and maybe CDs. I don't really remember. This is the Pest Productions version from China. I believe they're located in China, and that it's actually a really nice digipack. I like this a lot. Again, second copy of this. The first time I ordered this in 2015, I ordered it, and my brother thought that it was like a gift because I got it during the late fall season. So my brother thought it was a Christmas gift for me from my mom, and he hid it. And so like I didn't really want to like bother the guy who runs Pest Productions, because it's like, okay, you're a small independent label out of China. I don't want to be like, meh, 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 meh. I didn't get it. Give me a refund or whatever. So I was just like, I was so willing to just let it go. But no, it turned out we had it, and that was good. And then, because I didn't actually know when we received it, I didn't know how long it took to get here. So when I ordered it the second time after my collection got stolen, which by the way, up until by the time I ordered this again, which I believe was a year and a half ago now, they still had copies of this, and it's limited to like 500 pieces, I want to say, or 600. They still have copies of this. From looking at Pest Productions, they have some cool stuff. I recommend you check them out. They have a website that's, I think it's a Bandcamp site, and honestly, they specialize mostly in black and like atmospheric stuff, and go check it out. I have things in my like on their website that I want to get, but I have not been willing to like put down the money for those things, even though again they're not that expensive. So when I ordered this the second time, it actually came pretty quickly, and I was very surprised. But yeah, so it's just a continuation from the demo. Really, it's let's see, is it all 4 songs and then one more, or is it 3 songs? It is 3 songs and then 2 more. So it has some shared material, but I do think the album, honestly, probably is just better. But I definitely have that like connection to the demo that is hard to like overlook. So yeah, that's Barrowlands. Next up, I have Battlelore. They are a Finnish symphonic death metal power. A lot of labels have been, you know, lumped at this band, mostly because their like aesthetic is like medieval fantasy, kind of the same way of like Viking metal. I fucking hate that term, but they're super uh, influenced by the works of Tolkien. In fact, they often get called like Tolkien metal, which roll my eyes, but whatever. So this is their fourth album, I believe. Fourth album. Uh, Evernight. Duh. Honestly, do not love this album. I kind of had like a resurgence with this band a couple years ago, and I was like, I should just get all their stuff. And I do feel that way. And I do feel that way. Thing is, this album, I really, really like the first two songs, and then it kind of like middles out for me for the rest of it. I really liked their fifth album, The Last Alliance, which I do not have anymore. I need to replace it, but I want to get it in the 2-disc digipack, and most of those copies for sale come from like Germany and stuff, and I've always had like an issue. I don't know why. I like have this thing in my head where I'm kind of like, no, don't order from Germany. There's no point. Um, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's just I'm hesitant to order from Germany. Leave me a comment if you order from Germany, if it goes well. Like ordering from Norway for me and Poland and France almost never had an issue. Germany, I'm always hesitant though. And I think the Netherlands too. Netherlands too, never had an issue. But yeah, so this is Evernight. Don't love it. It is pretty though. I got this on eBay a couple years, last year, before I went back to school in the fall. At the same time, same order from eBay, same vendor, I got their sixth album, Doombound. And this one I like a lot better. It's a lot, as the title says, doomier. Like it is slower, a lot, darker tint of symphonic metal. It's just also just a more pleasant release. But that being said, I would not say it is better than their fifth album, The Last Alliance, which again, I need to get. They have a lot of like flutes and stuff in their music. So there's like the flautist, and the keyboardist, and it's Beauty and the Beast style, but the male vocals, at least with their current vocalist, is very kind of grumbly yelling. I don't know how to describe it other than that. It's not my favorite style of vocal, but I think it works well here and much better than, say, on like Siegfried's stuff, which that's a band that we're going to talk about a different day. Moving on. I was not sure if I wanted to show this release, because as of now, it has not actually been released in physical. It was supposed to get a cassette release sometime last year or this year, don't remember, but this was actually released on digital only and on the band's Reverb Nation page. So, it's a weirdie, but I went ahead and made my own like copy of it, found the artwork on their Facebook page and like a photograph of the band on the back. And this band is Beauty of Night. They are Indonesian, I believe. Symphonic gothic metal band. The disc is a very just normal CDR, right? They are independent, I think, or they're on... Nope. What are they? Shit, I think they might be on DG Records, but, a lot of information is kind of hard to track down when it comes to that part of the world, at least in my experience. I don't know if anyone has better luck with that, but I actually really like this album. I found it on a way, like, just randomly on YouTube one day. I found, like, their latest single from 2019, which was supposed to like foreshadow the release of their second album, which has not happened yet, but I'm definitely curious. It's very 2007 era, like dark symphonic metal, right? And it's actually really, I do like it. I will say that the vocals are kind of hit or miss. Like I can understand why people wouldn't be into the vocals. It doesn't bother me as much. I think, the singer's intonation could use some work, but not enough to like put me off actively. It's just, I find a very charming, symphonic gothic metal album. It's good. CZ Kelam came out in 2016. I will link their Reverb Nation in the description. Next up is an album I've talked about before, and that is whatever the fuck this is. Pandemonic Incantations by Behemoth. I've talked about this before. I don't love it. I also have not bothered listening to it again since, so it could just be that I need to give another chance. It's, you know, pretty aggressive blackened death metal. There's their third album released in 1998, I believe. So at this point, they'd already started doing the blackened death metal thing. That being said, I can appreciate the technicality of it. Like, it is pretty and, you know, extreme, and the vocals are actually really good. That's the one thing I will give this band, is that vocally, what's his fucking name? The one with the mustache that people don't like because he's pretentious or whatever. Uh, he does a really good job. I'm just gonna say it. He's a great vocalist, and this is the Metal Mind production version, which is a Polish record label that people have very mixed opinions on. I think in a lot of like VC videos that mention Metal Mind Productions or Polish versions of albums that they already like, released on that like gold disc technology. But I know them as the band, or as the label that signs a bunch of these Polish bands that eventually all of those bands like want to get out of that deal as quickly as possible, because their marketing sucked, especially outside of Poland. Like, Polish bands would get kind of big in Poland, and then like nowhere else. There would be like you couldn't find their releases anywhere, even though they would like specifically have the bands, if they record in Polish, record a version of the album in Polish, and then also release an English version that would like never see English speaking markets. So I don't really understand the point, but so a lot of bands, as quickly as they figured out that being on Metal Mind Productions sucks, try to get out of it. And this is it's a version on that label, and which is kind of weird, because that could mean that this is a bootleg. And I checked some of the information. I think the bootleg versions have slightly different serial numbers, so I don't really know what the fuck I have, but that's what I got. And the last thing in my metal portion of my bees is Besieged Black Emotions. This is a Swedish gothic metal band. They started off kind of definitely in that like doomy, harsh vocally 90s style of playing. Like, they debuted in 1998. I need to get that debut, by the way. But this is not that at all. Like, sonically, musically speaking, it definitely has a lot of, you know, remnants of that left over. But I would say that this is a bit more keyboard driven than their debut, from what I remember. And the vocals are no longer harsh. They go for a very like, what band is that? Is that Paradise Lost, that had like the James Hetfield era? Kind of like that, but less James Hetfieldy. But still not my favorite vocal delivery, especially on the first song. I really like that song. It's called Man-Made Dreams, but I really don't like that like right in there vocal delivery. I hate it. I can't stand it. But I have to admit that like the song is catchy as shit though. So that's Black Emotions. This was released on Pavement Music. I don't know if anyone actually knows who they are. I don't. I got this on a whim for like $5 on eBay. Don't regret it. It's good. And I do need to look more into this band. They broke up, I believe, in 2006, and then reformed in 2013, and actually did put out an album in like 2016 or 2017. I'll leave something down in the description, probably. Yeah. Swedish band. Really nice. Not the most complex, if I'm being honest. It plays a little safe. Like, again, that like keyboard-driven, but like spacey kind of production, kind of like late 90s Anathema a little bit. Maybe less proggy, a bit more just kind of gothic metal, which I would argue that those 90s Anathema albums after Silent Enigma, those are gothic metal albums. And no, I will not be taking questions at this time. Anyways, thanks for watching. That is all that I have for today. And I'll see you in the next one. Hopefully soon. Bye.